The stadium lights were off, the season was over, and winter had just begun. Yet somehow, the biggest shock of the year was still waiting to drop. People thought Shohei Ohtani had gone quiet. They thought the offseason finally meant rest. But behind the curtain, something colossal was moving. It began with a whisper. A rumor. A hint carried through Japanese media like a spark blown into a forest of dry leaves. Is Ohtani coming back to the WBC? Nobody believed it at first. The man was recovering, rebuilding, recalibrating after a whirlwind year. Why would he risk everything again? But that's the thing about legends. They don't follow logic. They create it. Inside a silent training facility, Ohtani stood alone, gripping a baseball as if he were holding the weight of a nation. The world didn't see it, but he did. The fire was still there. The mission was not finished. And then, without warning, the announcement hit like a lightning strike. I will play in the World Baseball Classic. The message was barely a sentence long. Yet it exploded across the planet like a war drum signaling a new era. Fans froze. Reporters gasped. Teammates texted each other in disbelief. Because this wasn't just a decision. This was a declaration of battle. Memories of the last WBC came rushing back. The roar of Tokyo Dome. The electricity in Miami. The moment he struck out Trout in the final inning as if the baseball gods themselves handed him the script. How do you top a moment like that? Most players would ride that high forever. But not Ohtani. He wasn't coming back for nostalgia. He was coming back for unfinished business. To defend a crown, to push the limits of what one human body can endure. And to lead Samurai Japan into another war on the diamond. In the days after the announcement, social media turned into a battlefield of emotions. American analysts debated. Japanese fans celebrated. Rivals trembled. What shocked everyone was not the decision itself, but the timing. He announced it early, publicly, boldly, almost challengingly, as if to tell the world, I'm not hiding, I'm not waiting, I'm not afraid. Behind the scenes, coaches said his intensity was unreal. Every workout faster, every swing louder, every pitch, when he picked up a ball, whistled like a blade cutting through air. You could feel the anticipation building. It wasn't just excitement, it was pressure, the kind that folds ordinary athletes. But for Ohtani, it forged steel. Because representing Japan isn't a job. It's a calling. And some callings don't let you rest. Even in November, months before the event, his schedule was chaos. Meetings, charity events, foundation announcements, travel, rehab, training. Yet he still made time to send one message to the world. I'm coming. And those two words hit harder than any home run he's ever launched. Somewhere in America, pitchers looked at their scouting reports and sighed. Managers circled dates on calendars. Teams whispered among themselves about the storm forming overseas. Because everyone remembered what happened last time. When Ohtani turned a global tournament into his personal myth-making factory. The clutch hits. The stolen bases. The laser throws. The pitches that moved as if gravity bowed to him. But most of all, the moment he walked from the bullpen to the mound in the championship game. Like a warrior stepping into destiny. That moment didn't fade. It didn't age. It carved itself into sports history. And now, he was preparing to do it again. Except this time, he wasn't the new hero. He was the reigning king. And defending a throne is far harder than capturing it. Japan knew it. The world knew it. And deep down, Ohtani knew it too. But that's what makes this story remarkable. He didn't choose the safe path. He chose the impossible one. Fans began discussing lineups, rotations, dream matchups. Rumors spread. Speculation grew. Everywhere he went, microphones waited. Every move he made, cameras followed. But somehow, even with all the noise, Ohtani remained calm, almost serene. Because when a warrior walks toward a battlefield he's already conquered, he doesn't walk with fear. He walks with purpose. And that purpose burned brighter than any spotlight. As whispers turned to headlines. And headlines turned to global shockwaves. A simple truth began to take shape. The world wasn't ready for Ohtani's return. And maybe, that's exactly why he came back. Not for fame, not for pressure, not for revenge, but to remind the planet of something it forgets too quickly. That greatness is not a moment. It is a promise. And Shohei Ohtani intends to keep his. So when the next WBC begins, when the stadium shakes, when the anthem echoes, when the cameras pan toward the dugout and he steps into view, every heartbeat in the stadium will pause. Because they'll know, this isn't just a player. This isn't just a comeback. This isn't just another chapter. This is the return of the man who commands baseball like a force of nature. And when he takes that first swing, or throws that first pitch, or stands at the plate with the weight of a nation on his shoulders. The world will remember exactly why they stopped scrolling. Because some stories don't need hype. Some stories don't need miracles. Some stories are destiny. And Shohei Ohtani is walking straight toward his.